This is David Gilmore, known as LDS Prepper, and Mrs. Gilmore down there, known as the Backyard Herbalist. After growing strawberries for many years here in Idaho, and also we grew them for a year or two in Houston, my wife has decided that the best way to get the best production is to take the previous plants, and as you can see, she's pulling off the sections that she doesn't want, and there are several crowns on that plant, and she will keep the crown, and then we will replant those back here in the greenhouse. So the idea is that we will take all these plants out, then go through and separate what we want to keep, and then simply replant them back into the garden. These plants have been here for 6 years, I believe. These are crowns from the original plants that we originally planted in here. So we've gone through here once already and done this process, and this is the second time we're doing it. It's now time to prep the bed for planting. So I've just leveled off the box with the soil that's in there. Now I need to put down the pre-plant and the weekly feed, plant feed. This is our bucket of pre-plant mix. We still have some left over from last year. I need to mix some more up, and I just write the recipe here on the tag. This is 20 pounds of calcium, which is either lime or gypsum depending on where you live, 1 pound of Epsom salts, and 4 ounces of boron. To make life easy, I know that I need 2 pounds of pre-plant mix in a 30-foot box, and so if you look closely on that top ribbon, you'll see that I have a blue mark there. And so instead of weighing out how much I need every time, I just fill the can up to that line. Takes me 1 scoop pretty much. Then I have what I need, and I'm not wasting any. So I'm not over fertilizing and I'm not under fertilizing. This is exactly what is needed in a 30-foot row. I'm just going to take the pre-plant and evenly distribute it down the row here so that I get all that calcium into the soil, which is what I need for the plant root growth. Got a little bit extra, and I was a little light here on the beginning, so I want to evenly distribute as much as possible. And there we go, right about here. Good. So that's distributed. Now it's time to mix up the weekly feed, and I'm using as the core ingredient the LDS Prepper Premium Micronutrient Mix. When you mix all these micronutrients, which include the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, sodium, manganese, zinc, iron, copper, and molybdenum, then we have a perfectly balanced food for the plant. You can use anywhere between 13, 13, 13 and 19, 19, 19. The higher the number, the more nutrition. But any one of those will work. I've got that here in my bucket, 5-gallon bucket. I'll pour in 4 pounds of Epsom salts and 1 of these 2 micronutrient packages here. I have my 25 pounds of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, my 4 pounds of Epsom salts, and my 10-ounce package of micronutrients. Now I'm just going to mix them up in the wheelbarrow and then pour them into the bucket. Alright, so I've got 1 pound of weekly feed inside the can. You can see I've got 2 marks in there. The lower mark where you can see the weekly feed is, that's when I do not have perlite in the weekly feed. As the summer comes on and things get more humid, I add a ½ pound of perlite to the mix also to keep it dry. But right now I don't need the perlite because we're at the beginning of spring, end of summer, and so it's not humid in here. So I just weigh out 1 pound once, mark the can, and then I know exactly how much to put in a 30-foot row. Then, as with the pre-plant mix, I try to evenly distribute the weekly feed down the entire row of a 30-foot box. I like having all my boxes the same length. That way I only have to measure things out once. I'm again a little extra here in the can. So I typically, as maybe you can see walking back here, typically start out light, and then I'll come back in and fill it in, making sure I have enough to go all the way down to the end of the row. So that is good right there. So here I've made 30 pounds of weekly feed. As you can see, that fits nicely into a 5-gallon bucket. 2 10-ounce packages come in a package, so you'll be able to make 60 pounds of weekly feed to feed all your plants. Now that the pre-plant and the weekly feed are in the soil, we need to top off the box with sand and sawdust. I have a video. The video is about how to create your own custom soil for less than $1. So I'm filling up my wheelbarrow. I'll take about 3 wheelbarrow fulls to fill up this box with sawdust, and then I'll take about 3/4 of a wheelbarrow of sand and top that off. I have watered down the sawdust a bit so it's not so dusty when I till it, and then I put some sand on top, and now I'm going to get the Mantis tiller and till all this in. So I went down the full length one way with the Mantis tiller, and then I came back the full length and tilled everything in, and we have beautiful, light, airy, nutrient dense soil here. And you can see this is what I have come up with. It's just gorgeous. People would pay a lot of money for this quality soil. So this has everything that the plants need to germinate and to grow vigorously. And then we feed the plants the weekly feed every week, and I put in the pre-plant mix once a month in my soil. And I did this for just pennies. Now, the reason why I added sand and sawdust to this box is because the box was low on soil and I need to add something to it. If you're growing in a bed that already has soil in it and it's already full, then you don't need to add sand and sawdust. If I were just growing in the dirt without a box, I wouldn't need sand and sawdust because there's dirt already there. So what you would need, whether you're growing in a soil bed or a grow box, is the nutrients, the weekly feed and the pre-plant. And you want to make sure you get your premium LDS Prepper micronutrient mix at ldsprepperstore.com, so you can get all those minerals that you want in your body, like the magnesium and the iron and the zinc and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this bed, and as I screed this with this board to get the soil level, I end up with a little bit extra. When I never have extra, I just have soil that I haven't used. So I'll take this soil here that I put in the wheelbarrow and I'll put it in the next box because I'll be filling that one up too. So all of the garden prep is completed for this 30-foot long, 18-inch wide growing box, or what we call a grow box. And now it's ready to be planted. So minutes after I got this screed, my wife came out with the strawberries that we had pulled out. She's already broken them up into the size of crowns that she wants, and she's planting them. You know, she has the marks here in the ground. That's because we're using the Mittleider gardening method measuring device. So in about 4 swoops of the device, she has the entire 30-foot garden marked. As soon as you have your garden prepared, if you can have your plants ready to go by starting your own seedlings or transplanting, whatever you're doing, I'd encourage you to get started as soon as possible. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. Please watch the other 573 videos I have on preparedness at ldsprepper.com and get you and yourself prepared so you have no fear.